Hi Mikhail, good evening.
How did that transformation happen from your passion to cricket towards journalism?
Yeah, I'm really amazed by the kind of research you've done. Each time I would play and come back to the pavilion, I would flip the bat upside down and I would start commentating with my friends, with my teammates.
Do you somehow feel that post Dial C for cricket, Mikhail Vaswani got a lot more recognition?
On that show, I always endorse two thoughts: no fear, no favor. We call a spade a spade. We try to bring the real cricket out. You're cracking the right notes, let me tell you.
I believe you were covering, you were with Times Now during the 2008 Mumbai Blasts.
Oh my God!
I really
each time I talk about it, no. Each time I talk about it, I don't want to sound dramatic, but it does. It does give me a little bit of a hair-raising experience.
We're here now to the last segment of our show.
But I've been answering all this. I have done my IAS by now, yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in, Mikhail.
Thank you very much for calling and inviting me. And I'm sorry for all this technical glitch. I'm so not a tech guy.
No, that's okay.
I'm a convert.
We're all figuring out technology during quarantine, right?
Yeah, we've embraced it.
yeah, absolutely. So, Mikhail, before we move ahead, I'd quickly like to check with you. Because of the lockdown, because of the COVID-19 around, I hope you're okay. I hope your family is safe. Everything good around you?
Yeah, God's been kind that way. We all are indoors and we all are healthy and we all are very safe. And I hope it's with everybody as far as they all decide to stay at home, which is so very important.
Mikhail, I'll begin. My question number one, I like to begin by asking you about your transformation, from your journey as a cricketer to a media personnel. I believe you opened the batting in your school team, in your college team, in your university team. Then you went to Australia. You were an opening batsman, and you also bowled a bit of off spin, right? And then I believe from cricket. Then you went to Simbi, you did a degree in mass comm, and then you entered journalism. So how did that transformation happen from your passion to cricket towards journalism?
Yeah, I'm really amazed by the kind of research you've done. I mean, the first thing about any television guys, whenever I go and give lectures in colleges, they ask me what's the first thing that you advise us. I'm like, know your subject well. When you're going and interviewing somebody,
Thank you.
If that person whom you're interviewing sees the kind of knowledge you've read about him and when you're sharing it now, automatically you won that interview to begin with. And with me, obviously, I'm so impressed with your kind of research and I really wish the very best to you. Just to begin with my journey in cricket, I played under 13 Bangalore zone, under 16, under 19, went for under 23, went for state selections, played for university. But each time I would play and come back to the pavilion, I would flip the bat upside down and I would start commentating with my friends, with my teammates.
Yeah.
So one of my teammates told me, Mikhail, you're doing a better job over here than you're doing in the 22 years. so why don't you give this a crack? I'm like, not a bad idea. So let me just try and go for this. Let me give it a shot. So I then decided that after my BSc, I would get into mass comm.
Yeah.
And that's when I got into Simbi. And when I got into Simbi, Dream Job Harsha Ki Khoj happened, if you remember.
Yeah, I do, of course. Yeah.
In which Anand Narsimhan, Padamjeet Sehrawat, we were all in the same group. So I gave my recording on a phone. Out of lakhs and lakhs of entries, they shortlisted me for the Bangalore round. In the Bangalore round, I reached the final. So before the final, I went through my auditions with Harsha Bhogle, Wasim Akram and Perizad Zorabin. And there Harsha Bhogle told me during the auditions, he told me, your camera eye coordination is superb. The way you handle live is superb. And I'm really impressed with you. Unfortunately, I couldn't go ahead after that final round in Bangalore. But you need that. I got to know that was my calling. When Harsha Bhogle told me, you're good with live, your camera coordination is superb, your on-screen presence is there. These words were enough for me to realize that, okay, this is where I want to be and this is where I have to be. So that's when I decided. So cricket happened, passion turned into a profession. I couldn't be thankful, I couldn't be grateful for that.
That's wonderful. Mikhail, even I'm sure Harsha Bhogle, when he gives you credit, you really deserve that credit, because personally, Harsha Bhogle is my favorite commentator. In fact, I've grown up listening to him. Even these days, I go to Cric bars and I just try to figure out what new videos he's come up with. And, because when he speaks, it's like poetry. It's just beautiful to listen to him.
Exactly, he simplifies cricket. That's the best part about Harsha Bhogle. just simplifies cricket to such minute levels that you don't need rocket science to understand. Because sometimes when you're trying to explain a particular situation, in cricket, when you're watching it live, you fall short of words. In Harsha's case, the words just fall in the right places, and it's very nice to listen to him. I mean, I'm sure that you must be really enjoying and learning a lot out of him.
Absolutely. In fact, I remember, recently he quoted something about Cheteshwar Pujara. Pujara is a classical musician in the era of Yo-Yo Honey Singh. So
I remember that.
yeah. So Mikhail, my next question to you is regarding Dial C for cricket. I'm sure you've been asked this question a lot. So I'm sorry to take you all over this again. But you're a humble man, so you might not admit. But do you somehow feel that post Dial C for cricket, Mikhail Vaswani got a lot more recognition, a lot more eyeballs were rotated towards your content after Dial C for cricket?
So, two things. I mean, I would like to keep things at a very low profile over here, but there was a time, Ishan, when cricketers would call me and say, talk about my performance, talk about me on your show. And that was, it really meant a lot to me, because on that show I always endorsed two thoughts: no fear, no favor.
Yeah.
We call a spade, try to bring the real cricket out, and we are not going to rub anybody's back or massage anybody's ego. If you've done well, we'll compliment you. If you've got it wrong, we will highlight it. That was a clear strategy on my show, and thankfully it won a lot of appreciation. I remember meeting a few BCCI officials as well once.
And he also worked with Arnab Vaswani.
That's another experience altogether. I'm not saying I tried to, impersonate him in my shows.
Yeah, sure.
But I never tried to sensationalize. It's just that when I came on camera, I just tried to put facts and I didn't want to fabricate it. I just wanted numbers to be delivered in dialogues or rather in words. So that is one. Second thing is, each time I would do Dial C for cricket, and though that time Neo's reach was not that great, we didn't have social media, there was no Twitter, Instagram posts, anything like trending where you could have it. Still, when I would go somewhere, people would say, are you that cricket guy from Neo? So, it would feel nice. Public memory is good, but public memory is small as well. So once the show got over, everything, just diluted as well.
Yeah, Mikhail, another point I like to add about Dial C is the two-way communication part of it, where you had an IVR phone line, and then, you could take live calls, because see, those days there was no Insta Live, there was no Facebook Live where everybody was doing it. And I think that was very encouraging, because people, even these days I feel a lot of debates are restricted just towards the speaker speaking, but if there's two-way communication, and that is why YouTube Lives, Instagram Lives are picking up so much, because the user, your fan, has an opportunity to speak to you at the same time. So that was something which I personally felt really worked as well.
Right, it's very important as an anchor you realize that if there are audience involved in your show, then you don't be an anchor, you become a mediator. I always believe in this concept. Sometimes what happens is you have people tuning in, but they are sending their questions, they are asking something, but the anchor is only asking his questions and talking to the cricketer. The only possibility for a fan to get up close and personal is if I can be that interface between him and the celebrity cricketer, so that his question is conveyed and the answer can be delivered to him. That's a big moment for any cricket fan. So I realized that in Dial C for cricket, that I need to take the back seat and I need to give maximum on-screen presence to the caller and the guest. But sometimes the discussions would get so serious and so animated that I would sometimes just get consumed into it. But as you mentioned it, you had to create a 3 to 4 way communication, and we would do it on Skype. Ishan. There was no Facebook Live or Insta Live. So Skype was, the connection used to be bad, it used to be distorted. Still we are trying. I'm not saying I'm coming from medieval time, not at all.
Of course.
But it's just that if Dial C was there today, I'm trying to get that on my own platform, what I do every day.
Yes.
If we can recreate that magic, and then people will really enjoy it.
I absolutely agree with you, and that was my next question to you. In fact, that I'm glad that you are trying to recreate that again via CricFit. And I wanted to ask you about CricFit. I believe you're a digital platform. You do a lot of content. You have your Facebook page. You have your Insta handle. So I'll break my question into two parts. how's the digital side of it going? And B, I believe you also have an academy called the Cric Academy, where you're training a lot of youngsters. And congratulations, I believe the 16-year-old Sarah got selected for the Mumbai team. And I keep seeing your posts as well. A lot of your students are doing really well. So my second part of the question is, post quarantine, Mikhail, what do you see changing? Do you think you're going to get a digital angle towards coaching? Do you think the world will be normal again soon? Like, how are you keeping in touch with your students during the lockdown, Mikhail?
I gave this digital thing, online coaching, a lot of thought, and I realized that if a cricketer has to be made, he has to be made on the ground. Online is not going to help much. I'm sorry, I'm old school.
No, that's okay. You're honest.
Yeah, I see a lot of advertisements coming on Facebook, online classes for cricket, pay so much per month. I will not do all of that, because at the end of the day, cricket is a bat and ball physical game. You have to be there in the ground. I don't mind telling my students, adopt more safety, but come to the ground, sweat it out, run, get yourself fit, bowl, bat, do your drills. But I don't want to get into online mode. I'm sorry. One thing is very clear. I'm in touch with few of my students. I just messaged Sarah today. In fact, I must share this with you as well. I was reading this morning. I woke up to a very nice quote by Rahul Dravid. He told that in that quote he mentioned that people keep talking about talent, and people say when they watch somebody play the ball, when they play it straight, or when they drive it really well, oh, what talent, oh, great talent, look at the way he's diving the ball. He's telling talent has another side as well, and that is commitment, that is dedication, that is attitude, that's discipline. This is also talent that nobody looks at, and that's what I messaged to all my kids this morning who are in my academy. Yeah, so Cric Online is something that I will always keep going. It gives me a chance to interact with my set of followers on my platform. So that's going. So when I opened Cric Online, I said let me complement it with something offline as well.
Sure.
So I opened the Cric Academy, 100 students, 3 of them playing from Mumbai, 2 of them I really feel will go on to play high professional cricket as of now. Another 5-6 are still there in the wings who could be prepared. There's one boy who's working hard for IPL. I don't want to say much. I rather show it, and I show it to you all. But yeah, thanks for touching upon Cric as well. Cric is my baby, my passion, just like how Cric Crak is. You're cracking the right notes, let me tell you. And I just hope you become stronger and bigger by the years. You need, as you're being passionate, you need to be smarter as well in this industry, I believe. In this online industry. And I'm very passionate, and now I'm thinking to get smarter as well with how I approach this entire online, because most part of in the industry, most part of livelihood now will also tilt towards online business and online audience.
Absolutely, and it's been a pleasure to learn from you as well, Mikhail. Whenever we speak, you're always open to give advice, and I'm sure all your students are also going to be very lucky, because you are somebody who doesn't ever shy away from giving advice, from putting your thought here and there. I absolutely respect that. And Mikhail, my next question to you, I'm going to take you away from cricket for a bit, and this might be a little emotionally heavy, so I want to apologize to you in advance. But I believe you were covering, you were with Times Now during the 2008 Mumbai Blasts. And I still remember that video of yours when you were, covering the live journey of the NSG commandos, of the National Commandos of India. In the bus, you were interviewing them, Mikhail. So, so I just wanted to know, how did you cope up with everything? I mean, when did you get the first call? And, how was that particular day for you? I mean, how emotionally stressful was that? And how much of an impact did it create in your life, Mikhail?
Oh my God,
I really apologize.
Each time I talk about it, each time I talk about it, I don't want to sound dramatic, but it does, it does give me a little bit of a hair-raising experience. But I remember the night, I guess around evening night of 26th, right? The terror attack happened.
Yes.
That day I was on leave that day, so I was at home, but I saw it on TV, and I called up Arnab and I told him, sir, I'm available 24/7. Whenever you want me, let me know. I'm ready to make myself available. So Arnab and Charu, she's what Arnab Goswami is for the editorial side, Charu Thakur is for the production side. She heads the production side. So I spoke to her as well, and she told me early morning 7 o'clock I get a call, Mikhail, go to Trident. Okay. So whole night I didn't sleep, obviously seeing things on TV. It was a terrible viewing experience. So 7 o'clock in the morning, I reached Trident. I've been assigned a camera person, and see, there are many stories. It may take a little bit of time, so don't mind. Because you may have
No. It's no. I'm happy if you talk. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 o'clock in the morning, I go to Trident, and I see that it's packed with people. After it's been barricaded before Air India building. उसके आगे हम लोग जा नहीं सकेंगे. The cops were there, and all of that. And from that area, we could look into Trident, and we could see people, foreigners, waving their hands and looking at us and asking for help, for support. But we were completely helpless. Sometimes we were also scared looking into those mirrors, because sometimes we would feel they are the terrorists as well. So I was there from 7 in the morning, and I met a lot of people. Then in between, some people quickly ran out of Trident. They came, we saw them, they were completely soiled in smoke and dust, and they were not willing to talk to anybody. Me and my colleague were there, I remember, and we somehow managed to interview and get a few bites. But I distinctly remember this episode that I'll share with you. 2 episodes. Okay, I should not be saying this on camera. I don't know if I should be sharing. So I met one of those gentlemen. I'm not taking names over here. So
yes.
I asked him, what brings you here? Well, he told my sister is stuck inside with her husband. So I'm like, okay. And I said, are you trying to get in touch with her? He shared her number with me. He said, if you also try her number, if you get in touch with her, let me know, because I've been trying, nobody's picking up. So then I got the number, and I just thought, okay, if we have a hostage number, let me see if we can do a hostage live call. I just thought in an editorial sense, which I felt was ethically wrong, because you should not be doing that. There's somebody under siege over there, and I'm thinking of a live photo with a hostage. I gave it to my senior editor at Times Now. So after 10 minutes, he calls me up and he starts abusing me. He's like, why are you playing the fool around with me at this hour? Do you think this is the right time to do things? So I'm like, so what happened? What did I do? I mean, I just got a number, I gave it to you.
Yeah.
I said, why are you shouting at me? So he's like, are you serious? I'm like, yes, I mean, the brother is standing beside me. He's a little away right now. I have to come this side. He gave me the number. He's like, there's something wrong there. So I said, what happened? He said, you just call and let me know what happened. You just call. So I called up from my phone.
Yeah.
When I called up from my phone, somebody started laughing and asked, kya hua? So I asked for the lady's name. He said, wo is duniya mein nahi rahi. Okay, wo ab is duniya mein nahi rahi. Okay, and he started laughing. And I kept the mobile. Now for me, I called up the lady's phone, which the gentleman gave me his sister's phone. My fear was, okay, this guy has got my number. So I switched off my phone out of complete fear. And I was like, I was trembling. I was like...
Yeah, even I'm getting goosebumps right now. Yeah.
Exactly. I imagine me, what I went through then. I was not just getting goosebumps, I was shivering. So I slammed the phone and I don't know, I just went and I just sat in the corner. And her brother came and he knew, and I'm like, no, I'm so sorry, I've still not been able to establish contact. I had to lie to him. Because I couldn't really tell him what I really experienced, and I'm not exaggerating. I've never given a wrong story. This is what I've experienced. I'm not fabricating.
Yeah.
And just to confirm, 1 week later, 10 days later, I messaged this guy whose number, the guy whom I met, whose number, his sister's number. I said, I'll not even take his name. I'm like, I hope all's well. He's like, my sister and brother-in-law both passed away in the terror attack. They are no more. And I was not at all surprised, because I was already told that on the phone, and I was like completely gutted. That was one story of real, agony and despair. At the same time, there was another story. I met this guy who was walking on Marine Drive with a bag, completely calm, completely cool. We were all eating vada pavs and all, because we were all day over there. Water, vada pav. That's it. OB vans moving up and down. We are walking in Marine Drive with a mic and camera, waiting to see if anything happens. And I asked this boy, I said, what brings you? He came up to us and he said, you're from the media. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what brings you here? So he's like, my father is stuck inside. I said, is it? I said, I will take it easy, everything will be fine. He's like, I'm absolutely cool. He replied, I'm totally cool. I know my father. I know what sort of a person he is. He'll come out and I'm going to tell you. Then he told me, you take my number. I'm going back to Andheri Lokhandwala. If I need anything or if you get any update, please message. I'm like, okay, I'm not taking his name as well.
Yeah.
So, and he was walking, listening to music. He's like, absolutely cool. After 1 week, 10 days, I dropped a message to him as well. I'm like, bro, all well? He's like, yeah, bro, dad is fast asleep, he's resting. So, it just talks of another side of the story as well. It was, one of hope and belief that, this thing.
Yeah.
Now, two more stories before I ended up. Sorry.
No. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Now that you spoke about it.
Yeah.
Third story is, of course, of my camera person now. What happened is he went right underneath the Trident Hotel. Okay. Just then the terrorists came and started spraying bullets from top onto the floor down below. Okay. So he jumped into those water breakers. You have those grenades kept right in Nariman
Yeah.
over there. So he jumped right down over there. And he told me, and he was one of my camera persons. So we had phones, so he calls me up. He's like, Mikhail, मैंने बोला हाँ नितिन, यार मैं नीचे फंस गया हूँ, मैं अभी बाहर निकल नहीं सकता, साइड से निकल सकता हूँ, लेकिन मैं अभी निकलने नहीं वाला. तो मैंने बोला ठीक है, लेकिन भाई 3 चीजें चाहिए मेरे को, मेरे फोन की बैटरी मर रही है, मुझे भूख बहुत लगा है और मुझे पानी चाहिए. तो मैंने बोला आई टोल्ड मैं सब तैयार कर लूंगा तेरे लिए, तू बोल कहाँ आना है. तो ही टोल्ड ट्राइडेंट के पीछे NCP से गुजर के तेरे को पीछे से आना है.
Okay.
तो मैंने बोला भाई उधर खाली है, सुनसान है, तो मैं कैसे आऊँ उधर? There's nobody coming there. So he's like, bhai, somehow I have to come. You have to come. And I said, why don't you come out? He's like, no, I can't come out now. You come up to a point, I will come up to a point, and then we'll meet. So I got pav bhaji, I got bhaji pav, I got vada pav, I took Bisleri water, and I took a battery of my phone, or I took my battery's phone and I gave it to him. Yeah. I remember. Or I gave him my phone because, and you won't believe it now. So I am going behind Air India, behind Trident, via NCPF side, and I'm all alone running. I'm running. And as I'm running from behind, the grenades are being thrown inside. The rounds of the bullets are being done. Doom. I am running with the fear that maybe in this ambush, if a terrorist is running out and he confronts me, I am gone. Okay. Or second, if people think I am a terrorist running.
That's right. I know what you mean.
It can be anything. So somehow it was luckily evening time. It was around 5-6 in the evening. It was still not dark. So I ran, I went, and he comes out as well. And I gave him everything, and I said, Nitin, chal bhai, abhi ho gaya. You've taken the shot, you've given us. So actually he called me to tell me, Mikhail, I've got exclusive visuals of the terrorists coming out, waving the gun, spraying the bullets and all, so you can give it live to, send it to Times Now. I said, I'll come to collect that. And he said, well, come and get all of this. So when he got the exclusive visuals, I tell him, listen, you've got the visuals, now what are you waiting for? He's like, no, Mikhail, I'm getting some very good visuals from here. I feel I should be here, I could get some more. He takes everything and he goes back into that base down below. He jumps down again. So, and then I quickly run back. I give the tape to my senior producer who was on location with me as well. And he calls up and he tells Arnab Goswami, sir, I have got you exclusive right. So I'm like, how did you get him exclusive visuals? The guy who's put his life on danger. In the line of fire is Nitin. He got us exclusive visuals. And that's why I feel sometimes media and this industry can be very unethical. You don't get due credit for the work you do. So you won't believe it. As soon as that tape was the uplink via the OB man to the Times Now office, I called up Arnab and told him, I said, Arnab, this man has done nothing. He's just landed over here and he's telling you, he's given you the visuals. The visuals has been given to you by Nitin Fattare. He's the camera person and he needs credit for it because he's put his life on the line. So Arnab said, thank you very much. And interestingly and very nice of Arnab, when he went live on television, he stated that, video journalist Nitin Fattare brings us live visuals. And I heard it as well, and I'm like, wow.
Wow. Even I feel happy, even I feel happy after listening to this, genuinely. Because, people should get credit where they deserve credit, And absolutely, Mikhail, and please go ahead.
And the last bit you're talking about, the NST Commando. So after I finished 24 hours at Trident, I went to the Taj Oberoi. I moved over there. Okay, I did 24 hours non-stop. I remember 7 in the morning I reached Trident. Till next 7 in the morning, I was doing live OBs from 12 o'clock in the night to 7 in the morning. Outside Trident, I was standing near Air India and doing live OBs. Me, NDTV, CNN, IBN, all in one line, all doing their live OBs. And we all were literally between breaks, we all were like this. I remember we all were like this, doing live OBs. That was one side to it. And the best part is I still remember Rakesh Maria walking out of Trident and he looked at all of us and he smiled, and that was an assurance that maybe they have cleared Trident and they have eliminated all the terrorists, but we didn't have confirmation. But he had a very reassuring smile on his face. After that, I rushed to Taj Oberoi, and of course the siege happened, the attack happened. I saw a lot of best buses being parked. So then I started seeing the NSG commandos going there. I quickly thought, it's a good time to get a this thing from them. But most of the NSG commandos are not comfortable talking in camera. They have their own protocols and this and that, which I totally understood. But what really touched me is they finished a 64-hour battle, and what they were eating was Parle-G biscuits and drinking water. And I'm like, and these guys were smiling, joking, and people were coming from all corners and giving them roses and saying, "Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir." So I also got so overwhelmed in that entire occasion. I felt so overwhelmed. I also went and said, "Sir, thank you very much. Thank you very much." I kept on saying all of that, and I said, "Sir, आपको अगर बात नहीं भी करना है, लेकिन आपको थोड़ा तो पता ना होगा, पूरा देश आपको सुनना चाहता है. आप हमारे हीरो हो, थोड़ा तो बात कर लीजिए." एक से पूछा, सबने सर जवाब दिया. And the end line was very, very touching. If you listen to that interview carefully with the NSG commandos. So I was also so bad. I was also caught in those emotions so much. I told them, "Sir, नहीं छोड़ेंगे उनको." So one of the NSG commandos said, "नहीं छोड़ेंगे, कोई भी हो, पाकिस्तान हो या अफगानिस्तान, किसी को नहीं छोड़ेंगे." The NSG commandos said. So after that interview, Arnab Goswami called me to his cabin and told me, "Mikhail, what you've done is real. What you've done is true, and what you've done is not what other journalists do as sensationalism." And that's why that story, they named it Straight from the Heart. If you remember, if you see that story, it's on Facebook.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, I just put across what I was seeing and what I was feeling. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nothing is that I told the best bus, go park yourself over here. I told all the NSG commandos to start working. No, what was there is what I covered. As simple as that. You won't believe it, Ishan. That day when I was, everybody saw that story that day. Everybody, LK Advani and the Parliament told. टाइम्स नाउ के एक जर्नलिस्ट ने हमारे एनएसजी कमांडो पे कहानी की, वो कहानी ने मेरे दिल को छू लिया. Everybody started clapping in Times Now, and Arnav, everybody stood up on the, we have a floor, right? We have a floor in the newsroom.
Sure.
Everybody clapped, and I still remember Arnav called me into the cabin and hugged me a lot. I was walking on the road with a mic, and people came up to me and said, "Sir, you did that story on the commando." I'm like, "Yeah, very good story, sir." And that day I felt the power of a journalist. My God, if you cover I was anchoring for 2 years, nobody saw. One story I did on the NSP commandos, and people were just talking about it.
But it was deserved to be spoken about, Mikhail, because you also yourself, I mean, yes, your colleagues were in a dangerous situation, but to an extent, I mean, you were also there, right? You were also, in the middle of the action.
Ishan, when you're going through all of this, man, you don't realize all of it. Now, when you sit back and look back and just look at the situation, then you realize that. Then I didn't realize that this could be a possibility. This could be the danger. This could happen. Not at all. We just went on, and we just went through the process. Yeah.
Thank you for touching upon such an emotionally heavy topic as well, and taking us back down the memory lane, and throwing some light on this entire episode. I really appreciate it, because I know it's not easy to speak about something like this. So thank you.
Yes, Ishan. At that time there was no Twitter wasn't active. There was no Insta. There was no Facebook and all. But there were blogs. People used to still write blogs, and I still remember 2-3 blogs were on me. Times Now correspondent Mikkhail Vaswani was there, helping us, giving us water, giving us information about what's happening. He kept us up to date with what was happening. So I felt so nice that people were recognizing my work, and it just felt so amazing.
Yeah. Mikhail, I also have a funny story with Arnav. Though mine is very funny. It's a fan story. When that entire episode with Kunal Kamra and Arnab happened very recently, the next day I actually bumped into Arnab at the Delhi airport with my wife, and he was at the baggage claim. And and the media was around, and so I just walked up to him, because I thought that I have honesty with me, right? I have honesty with me, and I want to say something, and I will say something. So I just walked up to him, and I just told him that, Arnab, the way you do your debates and the way you hold the conversation, there's a lot to learn from you. My name is Ishant Sharma. I run this website on cricket, and I hope you hear about me someday. And I just wanted to say that I've learned a lot from you by watching your debates. So and we had a picture together. There were no political conversations. It was just one day after the Kunal Kamra episode.
So Arnab is a wonderful person, off camera, off his professional demeanor. You meet him in person, he's a chilled out guy, to be very honest. But as a professional, he's very, very clear about, and very, very sure about what he has to do and what he has to achieve. So you get to see two sides of him. So, but both sides are interesting. It keeps you going, keeps you on your toes.
Absolutely, Mikhail. So, Mikhail, coming back to cricket now, I have a quote here which I'm going to read out. You once quoted, as a 90s kid, always high on three alphabets, SRT. You're the reason I'm associated with cricket today. So tell us more about your love and respect towards the great Sachin Tendulkar, the little master Mikhail. I believe you met him as well a couple of times. He's been to your academy. You have a few pictures with him. So just tell us about your experience with Tendulkar.
Yeah, first things, he hasn't been to my academy. I visited his TMG academy, the Tendulkar Middlesex Global Academy at MIG. Okay. That's where I got a chance to interview him. But my story with Tendulkar starts off with me as the 14-15-year-old when he had come to Karnataka, Mangalore to play a match, an exhibition match. I bunked my exams, can you believe it, to just go and watch him play. And he got to a century and caught in that frenzy, right? I ran onto the pitch to shake hands with him. So just when I was about to shake hands with him, a constable caught me and lathi charged me back to my place where I had come from. I was at arm's length to shake hands with him. I was about to shake hands with him, the cop catches me. In fact, Sachin had also extended his hand to shake hands with me, but it did happen. Yeah. So 15-20 years later, I met him at the unveiling of his wax statue at Taj, the Madame Tussauds statue, and I narrate this incident to him. I'm like, Sachin bhai, 15 years back in Bangalore, you had played an exhibition match. I was one of the kids who came to shake hands with you. I couldn't shake hands with you then. 15 years on, today I get my chance to shake hands with you at Taj, and it's been an absolute thank you very much. So he's like, oh yes, I remember, it's my pleasure, Mikhail. And I'm like, it's my honor, sir. I mean, I was like so humble. Obviously, any 90s kid, it was only Sachin. So that's how my story, my interest with cricket has only grown and only, escalated with time.
But must have felt very good, right? I mean, now professionally, you climbed the ladder and, you were shaking hands with Tendulkar based on your hard work. Not only as a fanboy moment, but also, because of your CV, because of, what you worked over all these years.
Right. I just want to touch upon another very important aspect. When we started our careers, I started in 2005-06. Yeah. That time we needed a validation from a news agency, from a channel, or from a newspaper that we are cricket journalists. We know our subject. We are covering cricket. For cricketers to take us seriously. I still remember nobody gave me Sachin Tendulkar's phone number. I kept asking, share the number with me. I would like to interview him. Yeah. I'm not exaggerating. 2005-06, I started my journalism career. 2015-16 is when I got his number. I started keeping in touch with him. He recognized my work, recognized my show. I asked him. I remember I was in Times Now. It was 2008. India had gone to Sri Lanka for the Galle Test, for the Test series. I was staying in Taj Samudra with the Indian team, and I was told from office, you need to get a Sachin Tendulkar exclusive in Sri Lanka and come back. Sachin Tendulkar didn't give Arnab Vaswani, frankly speaking. Why would he give me? I would always ask this question to myself. But every day, dedicatedly in the morning or evening, I would go and slip an envelope underneath Tendulkar's room door in the hotel, requesting, dear Mr. Tendulkar, I am Mikkhail Vaswani from Times Now. I request you for an interview. It will be great if you could spare me 10 to 15 minutes so that I could do an exclusive. It didn't happen. A media gang order was given by the BCCI. It didn't happen. Over a period of time, I didn't get the interview. Then finally, as a cricket editor, one day I messaged him. I'm like, Sachin bhai, everyone's interviewed you. I want to do it. I want to highlight your TMG. He's like, Mikhail, I'm not giving anybody an interview in MIG. I'm like, Sachin bhai, I've been chasing you for a very long time. He's like, okay, only you, MIG, come first. I went there, he tells me I can give you only 5 minutes. He gave me 1 hour 15 minutes. Wow. I interviewed him, had a lovely. So it felt nice. I've interviewed Sachin, I've interviewed Saurabh, I've interviewed Rahul. Yes. I guess I've interviewed whom I wanted to interview in cricket. Yeah. Best man.
Yeah. And I think I've seen almost all those interviews. I believe Cheteshwar Pujara as well, and you've been doing a lot of lives these days. So yeah, I mean, I have been following your journey.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So Mikhail, speaking about your journey, my next question to you is, you put out a video around 4 or 5 years ago when Rohit Sharma, wasn't, performing really well. I mean, he was a little inconsistent those days. There was a small phase where he was inconsistent. Having said that, nobody ever doubted his talent, but you know how social media is. There were a lot of people, there were a lot of trolls on social media, and you would especially taken out a video, I believe, when he scored 170 or something in a particular game. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the score, before, but you'd put out a video where you requested people not to troll Rohit Sharma, to believe in him, and you were assured that one day he's going to make us all proud, and so he did. So how does that feel?
So I'll tell you one thing. I still remember distinctly writing an article on Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
And I was in touch with Rohit that time. So it was a story when Rohit Sharma was dropped and Rahul Dravid was brought into the side.
Okay.
Okay. So that article was the tale of the ball and the fall.
Okay.
So it was all I tried to say is that it's good that we having Dravid, but it's very important that we keep Rohit in the mix as well. And I ended up saying that the icing on the cake will be when Rohit and Rahul both bat together in a match and stitch together very good partnership. So I sent this article to Rohit. Wow. And Rohit told me, "Thank you very much, bro. It really means a lot and I really need it." He told me. And I'm like, I'm saying this because I know it. I'll tell you why. In 2008, when this entire India-Sri Lanka test series was happening in Gaul, are you aware that even Rohit Sharma was part of the side in 2008?
Yes.
He was part of the he was part of the test, right?
Yeah.
And he was spoken so highly of in those journalistic circles, and he was and every day I would remember Paddy Upton and Gary Kirsten spending a lot of time in the afternoon with him, doing drills and this and that. And that's why I was a journalist with them, traveling the teams. I would sit near in the media box and I would observe, and I would see the kind of attention that Rohit was getting. And I always felt, I'm glad in 2013 he got a chance to open in the Champions Trophy that completely turned it around. It feels nice, and I feel the same for a few cricketers as well. And I have my eyes set on two cricketers whom I feel will create magic in the coming years, and that is Shubman Gill and Shreyas Iyer. Just watch out for these. I feel they take over Indian cricket.
Yeah, I believe this year it could have been Shubman Gill's IPL as well, because towards the later half of last year he was promoted to open the innings, and I think this season could have been Shubman Gill's season, Mikhail. Yashasvi Jaiswal, Shubman Gill. I remember. I remember, Mikhail, you'd given a quotation. I think this was last year or something. You were a little upset with Sarfaraz Khan because you really believed in Sarfaraz's ability, and you felt that he's not really, and you were very honest about it. Your statement was that, I'm being honest, he's not been taking care of his fitness, and he hasn't reached where he could have reached. So
yeah. Please go ahead.
No. So that was my point. So that you also believe Sarfaraz Khan kind of missed a trick there.
See, I cracked the whip on Sarfaraz because of two things. He was young, and at his age, you can lose weight and get fit, in the shortest period of time.
Yeah.
And this man is loaded. This boy is loaded with ability. Finally, he's come back with his fitness. He's scored a triple century, and what a season he's had. You've got to quickly pick players who you feel can actually turn things around, and I saw that in Sarfaraz, and I was livid. I'm like, because at the end of the day, even Rahul says, if you don't have the attitude, you're not a good cricketer. You may score centuries after centuries, but you don't have that attitude, you'll not have the longevity in the game. And for Sarfaraz, he's got the game, he didn't have the attitude, and that's why and fitness, and this meant that the longevity will not be there. There's a current Indian cricketer, I feel, does not have that kind of right attitude, which I feel will hamper his longevity. Many people have gone against me and told, no, you're wrong. I said, let's wait and watch. I'll not take his name, it will be very wrong of me. But I just feel if he changes his ways, gets a bit more serious, he could be there for the long haul.
Absolutely, Mikhail. Absolutely. So my last question to you before we play a quick rapid fire. Though there's one last question before the rapid fire. The last question is very, you can choose to answer it or you can choose to skip it. I thought it'll be nice for the fans if you have one particular interesting story. You've done so much of journalism. You've interviewed so many cricketers. Any particular story probably which you can never forget. An encounter with a cricketer, an interview with a cricketer which you can never forget. Something funny which happened.
I shared this before as well. One thing was when Sehwag got his 300 runs. In Chennai. So in the same test, Rahul also got to 10,000 test runs.
Sure. Okay.
So we all journalists congregate in the lobby of a hotel. That's the basic
Yeah.
meeting point, because everyone waits for the cricketer to come down, and then you run with your mics and get an excuse, and the cricketer says like, "Oh God, leave me, boss. I've just come for a cup of coffee." So all that. So I was like, Rahul is not going to come down for sure. He'll be mobbed. So we all journalists keep numbers and all of that, right? So I quietly messaged Rahul. I said, Rahul, 10,000 test runs. You need to celebrate this with the country, and the country wants to congratulate you. I have to get an exclusive interview. You have to give me an interview. I dropped the message. I was sitting in the lobby with everybody, all the journalists. Yeah, Rahul kab aayega, Rahul. When you're on television, right? Not now. Then there was no, Insta. So it is all about exclusives. Exclusive interview चाहिए. कौन channel पे पहले डालेगा? कौन exclusive band डालेगा? Times now breaking. Exclusive. Dravid speaks to Times now. बस ये सब चलाना. ठीक है? So I dropped the message to Dravid, and I'm sitting within 30 seconds. Come to second row. Dravid's message. I'm like, wow. Rahul's called me. Okay. And everybody's sitting. I'm like, washroom. Okay, quietly go to the washroom. I call my camera person from there. I go to the washroom. I tell him, "Chalo, bhai, second floor jana hai, jaldi." I go. Rahul is standing outside his room. I chapo a nice interview. I'm sorry for the language.
No, that's okay.
I plaster a nice interview. And I go to my OB-WAN, I uplink it to Times Now, they edit it. I said, ready to uplink, right? Ready to go. I said, put exclusive. And I come to the lobby and say, bhai, Rahul interview there, jao, jaldi jao. So, by the time the others went, I luckily had the first move advantage, and I got that exclusive interview of Rahul. Second interview, I would say maybe is with Dravid Ganguly. We from Neo approached him, and we went to Kolkata. We went to his hotel in Park Street, Saurav's food in. And he was sitting in his cabin, and I go up to him and with my producer, and he says, welcome. He's like, how long will the interview take? And I'm like, Dada, it'll take 45 minutes. He's like, 45 minutes? Like, yes, Dada, we've come all the way from Bombay. He's like, okay, you set it up, I'll come on top.
Okay.
So we set it up, and what happens is usually, like how you mentioned about the intro bit, the intro can be done, every anchor has his own style of, this thing.
Yeah.
So I wanted, and that was the first big interview, my first big interview. Okay. And I said, okay, I will do the intro with the interview. And I was scared. I can't have takes as well, because that will just create problems. So I gave that intro, one shot, thankfully. Okay, you can see today also. I'll share the link later. Dada told me 45 minutes. He gave me 4 hours. Yeah, he gave me 4 hours in that interview.
Wow.
And then after that we had lunch. He said, "You're not going without having lunch." My entire team and I had lunch in his restaurant. And then I messaged him saying, "Thank you very much for all the graciousness that you've, and generosity that you put across. It's been overwhelming. It was wonderful."
Wow. Thank you. It's good that you're sharing these experiences, Mikhail, because a lot of I feel I was speaking to a sports agent in London a while ago. I asked him the same question, that a lot of people, a lot of upcoming cricketers in India, if no cricket, then they get lost. It's difficult for them to follow their passion. There is no way, there is no book which they can follow to specifically become a sports journalist. You know what I mean? So they kind of get lost in the translation that, okay, if not cricket, can I still make my life revolving around cricket if I'm not in that India playing 11? And I'm sure, with your experiences, with your story, this is genuinely going to be very encouraging, for all our young listeners, Mikhail.
Yeah, on a passing note, I also want to share one thing. I did speak about, initially when we started off, we needed a validation if you are a journalist with a channel or something. Today, you don't need that. Today, you have the power of social media, and you can be a self-made journalist, broadcaster, anchor, which I guess is one of the biggest advantages. Today you can walk up saying, "I'm from Cric Crak, we need to do an interview." The cricketer said, "Let's go ahead and do it." Before we used to say, "I'm from Times Now, I'm a journalist," we had to, literally, we were always on proving grounds, trying to make people realize that we are talking cricket, sports journalists, all of that. Yeah. Today with the advent of social and digital media, I feel everybody has a chance to be a broadcaster who is taken seriously by everybody, who knows his job, who puts across news and all of it.
Absolutely, Mikhail. Absolutely, I agree with you. And in fact, But irrespective, it is encouraging because when it comes from somebody like you, people will tend to believe it a little more. So I'm glad, and I'm sure this is very encouraging, Mikhail. So we're here now to the last segment of our show, Mikhail. It's called the last over.
The last over.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bowl you 6 deliveries, and you try and answer them as briefly as you can.
How many runs to win?
Sorry?
How many runs to win? 6
Okay, 6 runs to win. 6 runs to win. If you get a single on every delivery, you're good. So question number one is very generic. If the IPL 2020 happens, because there are talks that there might not be a World Cup and they still might squeeze in an IPL, who do you think would be the favorite to win the IPL 2020 if it happens at all?
So given these predictions, and they keep saying that in T20 cricket or IPL, if you're making predictions, you're a fool. That's the saying.
Agreed.
But the usual suspects always CSK and Mumbai
Indians.
But I won't believe Delhi Daredevils.
They're very strong. They're very strong this time, right? They're very strong.
They're a very exciting side. I would at least see them in the playoffs.
I agree with you, Mikhail. I agree with you. Yeah. So my next question to you is.
Delhi?
Sorry?
Are you from Delhi?
Yes, I'm from Delhi. Yeah, and that is why also I agree with you. No, but on a serious note, I mean, Delhi has a very good squad this time. I mean, I was doing a predicted playing 11 in the build up to the IPL, which never happened. So I remember covering it very extensively. So Delhi does, have a very solid playing 11 this time. So Mikhail, question number 2, and this one I'm sure your CricFit students are going to love. And this is a very non-generic question, but how much did Mikhail Vaswani score in his class 12 board exams?
Yeah, should I give a switch hit or should I give a straight drive?
Okay, give a straight drive. Give a straight drive.
I got, okay, I'm being honest, I got around a 6%, yeah.
Fair enough. But you were good in other things, and I think that is also something which.
I'm still figuring out.
No, but I feel this generation parents are in fact understanding now that okay, it's all right to get a 60%. As long as you're doing things along with it. Mikhail, I was I got a 55%. Having said that, I was national level 100 meters. So I got a 15% in my sports quota, which helped me there. So yeah, I mean if you're doing other things, along with it. Yeah.
Amazing, Ishan.
Thank you.
That's super.
Thank you, Mikhail. Thank you so much. So my next question to you is, you're a captain of a team which has Pat Cummins, Jasprit Bumrah, and Lasith Malinga. Pat Cummins, Jasprit Bumrah, and Lasith Malinga. 10 to win of the last over, right? Who are you going to give the ball to and why?
I'll give Jasprit Bumrah.
Jasprit Bumrah? Okay, so you're going for youth over experience. Okay, Bumrah is also has bundles of experience now, so I shouldn't be using that word. But
I'll tell you why as well.
Okay.
As much as Malinga has bowled those brilliant overs and spells and deliveries, he's had those moments where he's even been very, very off color in certain overs and certain matches. If you look at alarmingly or consistently, that's also been a factor with Lasith Malinga.
Yeah.
With Bumrah, in the death overs at least, I've not seen that happening. I can't recollect that Bumrah being tonked in the death. Yeah, initially to begin with the new ball, sometimes he goes for runs, sometimes.
Yeah, but hardly now.
I can't recollect. I'll stick with him, and with his action, that slower delivery, that.
Yeah.
That delivery.
Yeah, I get your point. I would also go with Bumrah, but somehow if you are playing at the Wankhede, just that entire background sound of like Malinga, and that Mexican wave going around, I think that's very it gives me goosebumps, man. So so at the Wankhede probably I'll go with Malinga. Yeah, so
all right. Malinga is like, in fact, very recently Bumrah himself stated that he bowls the best Yorkers in the world.
Yeah, sure. So my next question to you, Mikhail, is this is question number 4. Half of the over you played really well. It's a good start in the power play. So question number 4, Mikhail, is I've been reading a lot of your interviews, a lot of videos you've done in the past where you've requested people to leave MS alone. Leave MS alone. Because people keep talking about his retirement. Every news company every day is MS Dhoni retiring, is MS Dhoni not retiring. So something, a message for everybody, for all those who are just, very concerned about the fact, will MS Dhoni retire or not retire? I mean, you know what I mean?
I was very recently thinking about the same thing now. 2013, if you remember, MS Dhoni made a sudden retirement in Test cricket.
Yeah.
Nobody expected it. And we couldn't see a farewell as well. With most Indian cricketers, we don't see farewells because they need to be pushed or nudged.
Yeah.
They don't go on at the right time.
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of Dhoni. Very big fan of him. Many people say Dhoni did the same with Tendulkar, with Sehwag, with Gambhir. With all these, when they were in their late 30s, Dhoni also. But Dhoni had his reasons there. My only point is today, if you look at the best wicketkeeper in the country, wicketkeeper, not a batsman.
Yeah.
Not a batsman, wicketkeeper, batsman. If I have to look at a short format wicketkeeper, I'll ask you, Ishan, who do you think is the best short format wicketkeeper in the country at the moment?
At the moment, okay. So now you put me in a situation because. See, MS Dhoni is not playing.
It adds perspective to our discussion. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, Dhoni is not playing right now. Since the last 15 months after the 2019 World Cup, he's not been there. Sanju Samson also I really like. Rishabh Pant I really like. But honestly, Mikhail, that's very complicated for me because when Rishabh Pant does well, the world talks about him. When Rishabh Pant doesn't do well, the world still talks about him. Sanju Samson, again, a very strong contender. But probably I would personally still go for Dhoni, considering the rest of the lot maybe still has a bit of time. What do you think?
See, have you noticed one thing? When Yuvraj was there, when Sachin was there, when Sehwag was there, we never had so many reactions coming in from former cricketers as to what the future of the cricketer will be.
Yeah.
With Dhoni, every person has spoken about a former cricketer. Ravi Shastri, if IPL happens. Very recently, Indian cricketers talking about it. There's a sense of feeling that the current Indian team still wants to have Dhoni.
That's right.
There's a great sense of feeling that the entire Indian team, because see, at the end of the day, it's just one man. Kohli and Shastri need to decide what's the plan. And nothing can be done. But you get the impression that they're tilted towards having Dhoni for one last time. And what I got to know as well from people within the cricketing circles is that Dhoni was actually looking forward to IPL because he wanted to just prove things for himself. And that would have easily just opened the gates for him. Leave him, he'll walk out very soon. And the day he walks out, people are going to cry, he'll have moist eyes, teary eyes. Then you'll forget all the criticism. I just feel the man knows what he's doing. If he's fit and quick behind the stumps, let's have him for the one last time. Let's carry him on the shoulders as well after lifting the T20 World Cup. Absolutely.
In fact, even Suresh Raina very recently quoted, I think yesterday or day before, he quoted that he saw Dhoni practicing, during the build-up to the IPL 2020 in the CSK camp, and what he saw was extraordinary. Raina thinks that Dhoni is in great form and he's nicking it. He's hitting the ball really well.
Exactly what I'm saying. Why is nobody talking about what Raina is doing? Everybody's talking about what Dhoni is doing. That's the kind of the worth of a thing is best known by the want of it. When does the want of a thing start? When talk around it starts. And people have been talking about how Dhoni is looking good to make a comeback again. Now each captain comes with a set of players. When Dhoni was there, Raina was the preferred number 4, preferred death bowler, part-time bowler, preferred fielding position. Every captain. Now Kohli has come with his set of players. He's got a Kedar Jadhav, he's got a KL Rahul. So today he does not have a Suresh Raina. And Kohli wants Dhoni. I can get that feeling that Kohli wants Dhoni. The rest I would not want to get into.
Fair enough. The captain makes the final call. The captain should make the final call. So Mikhail, my next question to you, question number 5, and this one is a riddle, right? So I thought I'll mix up the questions a bit. So this is not cricketing. This is nothing connected to your career. This is a riddle, right? So question number 5: you see a boat filled with people, yet there isn't a single person on board. How is that possible? So you see a boat which is filled with people. You see a boat in the sea, or a ship which is filled with people, right? Which is filled with single people. You see a boat filled with people, right? Yet there isn't a single person on board. So there's a boat filled with people, yet there isn't a single person on board. How is that possible? I'll repeat.
Had I been answering all this, I would have done my IAS by now.
No, so this is actually maybe you hate me for this, because I'm going to give you a very dumb answer to this post. Because this is a joke. This is a riddle. So think about it without any logic. There's a boat, filled with people, yet there isn't a single person on board. How is that possible?
Okay, I'll give a stupid answer as well.
Okay.
Is it a paper boat with people drown on it, and when you look into it, there are no people?
No, because all the people on the boat are married, so that's why there isn't. Okay, sorry.
Okay, you got me there.
Okay. And my last question. I thought this is important, Mikhail, just to probably ease it down a bit. I thought let's let's add this one. So my last question to you, Mikhail, of the last over, a piece of advice you like to give all your fans, because there are a lot of people who look up to you, Mikhail. A lot of people want to grow up and become sport presenters, and want to do what you're doing in life at the moment. So any particular advice you'd like to give them?
I guess in presentation, it's all about style and substance, they say. You've got to have that kind of style while presenting. You have to do your research to show that you come with a lot of substance. But in all of it, I guess you need to carry a little bit of soul and spirit too. That's what I'd like to add. Bring in some soul and spirit. And I would just say that, when you're on television, just put across what I've always done, the real thing, that be you, enjoy yourself and enjoy the moment, and be kind, be helpful, be real. These things really matter to me.
Yeah.
Maybe today, why I'm not part of the mainstream industry is because you hardly meet real people. I'm not saying I'm completely real. I may not be completely real, but this industry is filled with all sorts of people, and I don't appreciate many people, to be very honest.
Fair enough.
And I'm a straight shooter, Ishan. I just call it spade a spade, and that's why I'm happy where I am today. I'm at peace. I have my own thing going. Monday morning, I can wake up by opening a beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
That now.
But Mikhail, sorry.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
But after you.
Okay, so I was just saying, during the non-corona day, our rapid fire is over, but I thought, our fans will also love to know about this. On a non-corona day, when the world is normal, how does Mikhail upgrade himself as a person every day? Because this is a very competitive industry. You need to keep reading, you need to keep, listening to videos, you need to keep upgrading your style, you need to, keep working on your presentation skills. So now, have you reached a point where everything comes to you naturally and you really don't have to do a lot, or are you still on trying to improve yourself every day?
Honestly, whenever I go live on camera, I'm nervous. So, you are never a complete product in all of this. You're always nervous, always trying to improve. I'm not saying I'm a finished product at all. I'm still learning a lot, and I feel I'm just average. But these days I have so much other things going. My academy, my kids. I spend a lot of time with my parents. I do a lot of mentoring, and I'm opening up a gym called the Cric Garage as well, where I'll be having athletic training for my cricket kids.
Oh wow!
Open to all. It's an outdoor akhada that I'm opening.
Where is this?
So,
Where is this?
Next to my cricket
ground.
Oh
wow! Okay, wonderful.
Yeah. It's within the same premise.
Wow.
So it's just that from a presenter, a little bit of an entrepreneur, a little bit of an influencer, a little bit of a mentor. I'm trying to wear many hats right now, because I feel we can do so much more, with this one life that we've got. And I just feel in all of it, most important bit, Ishan, I guess maybe even you can take this.
Yes, please.
It's about today. We get so caught up about tomorrow and yesterday that we just don't live the today. After seeing what's happening in Corona, after seeing so many unfortunate lives being lost with pandemics and some diseases, accidents, I just feel we need to really be thankful for the day that we are living in. Imagine today, even an evening walk in the garden is a luxury. It's a privilege that life has given us, which we need to start appreciating the smaller things of life. I've started appreciating the small things of life. The dinner with the family, a quick game of housing with the family.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get caught up with your laptop. You don't realize that these are moments that will not come back again, Ishan.
Yeah.
Because life is only temporary today.
I agree.
Only constant in life is temporary. Nothing is permanent. The only permanent I feel is death, which is inevitable. I'm sorry I'm getting profound over here.
No. I'm glad you are.
If you understand, make sure you prioritize your real values of life and enjoy these special moments with your select few, and then distribute that smile and happiness around with kindness and humanity.
Thank you so much, Mikhail. I think that's a very good note.
Something dramatic towards the end, but that's how as a person I've evolved over a period of time.
No, and I'm sure people want to know the original you, and you always have been your original self. So I'm sure it's a pleasure to host you, and I'm sure this is a very positive note to end this interview. But before that, Mikhail, since you spoke about your gym, I like to share something with you which happened with me last evening. I was going through your Instagram profile, and just before that I was working out at night, and it was about 10:30 at night. I was working out, and my wife tells me that, why are you working out at 10:30 at night? So this is not a good time to work out. You're working out at 10:30 at night. And I had no answer at that time. I just told her because I was busy during the day, so I couldn't work out during the entire day. So then I happened to go through your video where you were talking about working out at any particular time is good, because it's important. Something is better than nothing. And then I showed my wife your video, and I told her that I'm interviewing him tomorrow. He's a big guy, so you please don't give me any gyan. So thank you, Mikhail. Thank you.
So because I remember I was talking to Ajay Jadeja once in NDTV office, and Ajay Jadeja comment would tell me that at 3 a.m. in the morning I would go for a run. And at 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm like, fresh energy है, भागो. मैं बोला ठीक है, मैं वहाँ से मैं भी शुरू करता हूँ अपना exercise करना है. But before you go, I would also like to state a few things.
Please do.
आप निशान छोड़ रहे हो क्रिकेट में, very good firstly. Okay, I just hope Cric Crak becomes bigger, very big, and very soon I hope to see you interviewing some of the big cricket personalities. Your presentation, your research is so important. You're doing it so beautifully, and everything about you sounds cricket, and that's why it's lovely talking to you. I mean, I'll not be surprised that I'll be hearing a lot of Cric Crak in the coming years, and your name as well. I want you to honestly be a very strong cricket voice, a cricket influencer, and a cricket broadcaster where people now also they take you seriously, but people will start. I was speaking to this one personality, and I was doing a television show. I'm not taking his name once again. And we were all. I was an anchor, so I had to put makeup on me. When they go, you put makeup.
Yeah.
And he was not putting makeup. And there was another girl anchor as well, a girl guest as well. She was putting makeup. Okay, let's not talk about her. I'll just talk about him and me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, sir, आप makeup क्यों डाल रहे हो? He's like, makeup second चीज है. लोग मुझे सुनने वाले, मुझे देखेंगे जिसके लिए मैं बात करने वाला हूँ. मुझे देखेंगे देखने के लिए नहीं, सुनने के लिए. In your case, you have the looks, you have the personality, you have the voice. I only hope in the coming years I hear more of you, Ishan, and you do very well in this.
Thank you.
What I like about you is your passion. Passion is nobody can replicate here. Nobody can take that away.
Namaste. That's how we roll these days, right? Thank you. I want to be genuinely. I'm really obliged, Mikhail. And and after this evening, I'm sure even I'm a more confident man than I was an hour ago. Thank you so much, and thank you for being absolutely honest. Throughout the interview, you were smiling, and Mikhail, the best part is even when you were talking about the negatives, or you were talking about something emotional, there was always positivity at the end, which reflects the kind of person you are, Mikhail. So thank you so much. There's always a smile in the end after every conversation we had. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling me. Thank you very much for giving me this platform. Thank you, Cric Crak, the entire team. Thank you, Ishan, to your producers, your camera persons, your editors who will be working on it. Thank you to each one of you all. Remember, teamwork makes dreams work.
The dream work. Absolutely. Yeah, cheers, Mikhail. Have a great evening. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.